Welcome to one of our Autumnal Door Wreath demonstration classes. Big welcome everyone. I'm all dressed for the occasion in the Halloween sweatshirt. So to get this party started, comment underneath. Let us know where you're watching from and what's the weather like around your part of the country or your part of the world. Have to say it's not too bad here in Dublin. There's a little bit of a nip there in the air, but sure, there always is in Ireland. So what else do we expect? So for our door wreath today, what I'm going to do is use one of these straw bases. So these straw bases come in ready-made. You can obviously make them yourself. And if you go to our YouTube channel on Case Flower School, our YouTube channel, you can see videos how to make your own straw base. But to be honest, these are quite reasonably priced. I can't remember the exact price. And you'll be able to buy these from ONeals Flowers up in Carlingford, County Louth. Somebody might tag them there in the comments, so ONeals Flowers. And if you get in touch with Garode or Ellen up there, they'll be able to give you the price on them, and they ship all over Ireland and obviously the UK as well. And you don't have to spend a certain amount, you don't have to be registered for VAT, and there is no minimum quantity that you have to spend. If you do buy online, remember to use our discount code KAYSFS. Somebody might put that in the comments, and that will give you a 5% discount of all the materials that you buy online off ONeals Flowers. Now, to make our door wreath today, I'm going to use a glue gun. The glue gun you can buy again in ONeals, but any of the flower wholesalers sell them. But the likes of Lidl and Aldi, you just want to grab one here. That's one of the glue guns from Lidl or Aldi, and you can use them as well. They're absolutely fine. The glue, art and craft glue, will do for what I'm working with today. I use floral glue all the time. The floral glue I use absorbs, and if I'm using fresh material, it kind of like soaks into it, and obviously it's waterproof as well. But there's nothing kind of wet today. Everything I'm using is artificial. So what I did was I bought some stems of foliage, and I got them, some of them from ONeals Flowers, some of them from Evergreen Silk Plants. Somebody might tag them in the comments there as well. They're in Ardee, County Louth. They also shipped all around Ireland and the UK, and the same discount code will work with them, KAYSFS, and that'll give you 10% discount online with Evergreen Silk Plants. And again, you don't have to spend a minimum amount, you don't have to buy in bulk, you don't have to have a VAT number, so it works out ideal. I'm not sure if he has these straw bases for sale, but he does have all these autumnal leaves. Now these all did come on a stem, and to save time I just actually cut them up. Just got the scissors there earlier on and cut them up. And what I'm doing now is I'm just putting a little dab of glue onto the back of the leaf, you know, that way, and randomly here and there I'm just kind of putting the leaf onto the base. Now, to be honest, when you're doing this yourself, you probably need to spend a little bit more time holding the leaf in place for it to set, where I'm actually just resting it on and I'm kind of hoping for the best for the moment, okay? But I will probably end up going back here and there and like fixing them back in place. You can see the way one or two of them are going to shift. But you listen, when you're doing your one, you probably won't be talking away like myself, and you'll be concentrating on what you're doing, and hopefully, you know what I mean, things will settle down for you, or, you know, dry out that bit easier for yourself. So you can see there, just going to leave that down for a second, give these a little bit of a press, just to get them to hold in place, okay? So it's great with the straw base because the glue just sticks to it, you know, that way. It does take a couple of seconds to set, but it just sticks securely to it. Now, when you're putting leaves around the outside, you also need to put some of the leaves kind of facing into the inside of the base. Now, this could be used as a table centre, though I did an autumnal table centre there recently. Make sure to follow us on our Sunday morning live classes. We always have a free class coming up on a Sunday morning, normally at 10 o'clock. I always say it's for those coming home from Mass, you know, that way when they're getting their big fry or whatever, that they can tune in and watch one of our live classes. But I did one there recently, and again, I used the glue gun. I used a lot of these kind of foliage leaves as well, and it seemed to be, everybody seemed to love it. It seemed to be very successful, it did. So going around here, as you can see, just kind of gluing on our leaves, just trying to tone up the colours, and as soon as this kind of dries a little bit, just pull all these cobwebs off afterwards. As soon as this dries out a little bit, I'll be able to hold it up. As I said, I'm kind of like rushing gluing them on, and I'm not really holding them in place kind of like long enough to let them set. So now I'm just going to go along them. Obviously mind your fingers, be really careful, you know, that way the glue is very hot and it will burn you, you know. Now, when you're buying your glue gun, I prefer to buy a hot melt glue gun. Okay, there's one or two of them still to settle, okay? But this is what it's looking like so far. Okay, so really easy to do. Now, somebody asked me before, could I do this on a moss base? You could. The only thing about the moss is sometimes there's dampness in it, you know that way? So you need to make sure that you're using floral glue, because obviously floral glue is the only one that's waterproof, that'll work, you know that way, if the item is damp. But a moss base or a twig base would actually do for you as well. So these are these fabulous orange ones. These are all off the branch that I bought from ONeals Flowers, and I have to say it's absolutely lovely, it is. And these brown ones are gorgeous as well. Now I have some cheaper leaves, I'll show you them now in a second, okay? And I bought them, I think it was from Evergreen Silk Plant, and they came in a packet. So it's these little leaves here, right? And this is less than half the packet. But the thing is, there's loads of them. Can you see there, right? There's absolutely loads of leaves in the packet. And you can just separate them up. Takes kind of a couple of seconds there. It's like after getting money out of the ATM machine and the money is all kind of like stuck together. But just to kind of show you there, like they're lovely, they are. Like there's loads of them, right? And again, they're great to add into this wreath like later on. So again, obviously these nice vibrant colours are fabulous as being our main leaves. But then like afterwards to kind of go along and add some of these in, like, you know, on top of it, here and there, or even as a base, it's absolutely gorgeous. So again, I'm just letting all of these kind of settle away there. And now I'm going to add a little bit of detail. So I have these kind of velvety pumpkins. These came on a stem, and what I did was I cut them off individual. And I'm going to place like 2 or 3 of the pumpkins together, kind of like in a group. I'll try and get the third one on so that I can actually then hold them in place. So just put that down for a second. I'll get the third one on, and then I'm just going to press the 3 of them down together and just give them a chance then just to actually settle in and glue onto the base, okay? So as I said, they came on a garland and I cut them up individually, right, to get that effect. Now these ones here that I have, they're just about setting there. They might need another dab of glue in there just to kind of hold them in place. The other pumpkins that I have are these ones, and these are more of a kind of a plastic pumpkin, but again, when they're mixed in here, you can see they're going to look quite well. And these were from Evergreen Silk Plants. Now remember, you can buy online from them. And again, if you use our discount code KAYSFS, you'll be able to get 10% discount off them. So that's what the bigger pumpkin looks like. Again, that'll need to settle down there for a few minutes, but I'm just going to try and get a few of them on and try and hold them, you know what I mean, at the same time. So again, we'll just divide, because these are quite big, I'm kind of like dividing them up around it. I'm not kind of putting these in groups. Now you will find with your glue gun that you'll run out of glue. I'm just coming to the end of this glue stick, you know that way, and you will need to add on like another glue stick. And when you're buying the glue sticks, buy them from the same wholesalers that you bought your glue gun, except if you bought the glue gun in Lidl or Aldi. The glue sticks that you buy in Lidl or Aldi are normally art and craft glue sticks, and for something like this it'll probably do. But for actual fresh flowers, you know that way, or working with floral foam, you'll probably find the art and craft glue won't actually work. But all the wholesalers sell floral glue. Now when you're buying glue guns, the glue gun that I have there is what's called a hot melt glue gun. And when you're buying it, even in the likes of Lidl or Aldi, it will actually tell you, you know that way, are you buying a hot melt glue gun or a low melt glue gun? The hot melt glue gun, I'll be honest, okay, burns the bloody fingers off you. It's pure dangerous to work with. But in saying that, it's a much more secure glue gun, and I would prefer to use it, okay? Where the low melt glue gun is a little bit safer to work with, like you wouldn't give yourself such a nasty burn, okay, with the low melt glue gun. But what you will find is that sometimes the material isn't as secure with the low melt, okay? So I personally prefer a hot melt glue gun, which is what I'm actually using. Now when you go to buy your glue sticks, okay, you'll have a choice, and you can buy hot melt glue sticks or low melt glue sticks. And I recommend that obviously hot melt glue sticks go with hot melt glue guns, and low melt glue sticks go with low melt glue guns. So again, just pressing everything down, giving it a little bit of security. So I'm just going to hold this up there for a second, just pull off our little cobwebs there. That lotus head hasn't set in there yet, so again, just give it another couple of seconds there just to actually set. So when you're doing this at home, like try not to glue as many items on at the same time like I am, unless you have a couple of hands free to hold the items in place for you while they're actually setting. Another thing that you can do is you can always like put the glue on the item and then leave it to one side just to let it go sticky, and then come back and glue it actually on. But again, because this is live on camera there today, we're kind of like speeding it up a little bit and kind of hoping for the best and hoping that things will dry while I'm actually still talking away. Now, I'm just running out of glue sticks, so just get another one here. That's what they look like, the glue sticks, and they just feed into the back of the gun. Now these flowers here, these came on a stem like so, and I just kind of cut them up individually. And what I'm going to do is just put a dab of glue onto them and then glue them directly onto the base. No particular pattern, you know, that way, just a dab of glue on, glue them directly onto the base, and it's just to give us another little texture. Again, hold them in place when you stick them on, just to make sure, stick our glue stick in, just to make sure that they're really, really secure. So I have 3 of them on there so far, just kind of holding them just for a second, just to get them to hold in place. Now, as I said with these straw bases, I think this is a 14-inch one. They go right up to 20 inches. So if you needed to do like a nice big one for any sort of an occasion at all, it'd be ideal to buy one of the massive big straw bases. Now this berry, this was actually from Evergreen Silk Plants. And again, I cut it up. That's what it came like. How much is the price? $2.90 a stem. So I just cut off all the berries kind of individually. I'm putting a little bit of glue on, and again I'm just sliding them in here and there. Just, it's all about textures with this display, right? So the more selections and textures and shapes that you have, the more interesting this door wreath is going to be. And again, the great thing is you can use like all these little bits and pieces that you have left over maybe from other displays, or little pieces that kind of like broke off. So again, I've lots of different types of berries here, and I want to put on as many different colours and shades just to give us lots of different textures. The great thing about the glue gun is the way I can get all these items on all together. Now again, don't worry about the little cobwebs, they'll all peel off afterwards. Okay, coming up very soon, we have just added to our calendar for next term's classes. So anybody that's watching and you're wondering like, when is the next lot of classes starting, you know, that way, or what classes have we got on for next term? If you go to our website, www.ksflourschool.com, and the handiest thing to do is go to the professional online program. It'll be one of the first buttons that you see on the website when you go to it. And in the drop down menu, you'll see Module 1, Module 2, Module 3 and Module 4. So there are 4 what we call professional programs. And between the 4 of them, we cover absolutely everything that you need to know about working in a florist, training as a florist, and running your own business, okay? So when you go to work in a flower shop, as well as like knowing how to make the flower arrangements, you do need to know the business end of it. And the business end of it would be how to cost the arrangement, how to work out what type of material, what type of flowers, where to source it, and what the cost is going to be. And obviously what the stem count, or what we often call the list of ingredients, you know, that way, what it's going to cost you to make the arrangement. Then what you need to know is your formulas for working out your selling prices, okay? Now just this one's a little bit, it's like an artificial fern, so I just want to use the scissors to press it down. Don't want to use my fingers, don't want to burn it. I'm also going to use some of these dried out lemon slices and orange slices. Now the larger lemon slices and fruit slices that I'm using, I bought them from Williams Foliage Farm, obviously based in Wicklow. And they have 250 gram bags, and I actually can't remember the price of them, but they were very reasonably priced. I was going to put them all in 2s, but I'm just going to separate this one now, just to feel that in 1s will actually work out better for me. But ONeals and Evergreen Silk Plants, they do have the smaller fruit slices. If you prefer to have the smaller fruit slices, they do have the smaller ones, which are lovely as well. And they have them in the limes and the lemons and the oranges. And I know Wicklow Foliage Farm has grapefruits as well, like huge big grapefruit slices if that's what you want to use. I know there recently ONeals had a special on their bags of fruit. Now I can't guarantee that they still have these available, okay? Because I have said it to a few people, and I'd say a few people have actually bought them. But they had bags of fruit for $7.50 and there were 250 grams, which is quite a lot in it, okay? But what they had as a special offer, if you bought 4 bags of them, and I'm sure you could mix it, I didn't actually get a chance to ask around were you allowed mix them, but I'm sure you were, okay? Then if you bought 4 bags of fruit, you were able to get them for €20. Now the great thing about ONeals flowers and also evergreen silk plants, okay, is the price includes the VAT. Where with most wholesalers, when you go to the wholesalers, the VAT is always priced extra, because the way the wholesaler looks at it is they're not charging you the VAT, it's the government charges the VAT. So the item always sounds cheaper when they price it without the VAT. Because the VAT is quite expensive in Ireland, it's 23% on sundries. Now in saying that is liable to change. Every time we have a budget, whoever happens to be the Taoiseach at the time, or the finance manager, he might decide to change the VAT rates, okay? So the VAT rates could go up or could go down. And there's obviously different VAT rates for every country as well. So we get a lot of followers from the UK. At the moment, your VAT is 20%, but again, all you need is a budget or something happening, and again, they change it around. If they're looking for a pay rise, the TDs, they say, sure, let's change the VAT rate, and sure, we can all give ourselves a little pay rise. I'm sure that's not what they do, but sometimes it sounds like it. That's what they're doing. And again, this is starting to come together. I'm just going to pull off some of the little cobwebs that's kind of like in there. You're always better pulling them off the following day, I kind of find, because they've really settled, okay? Giving everything a press down just to make sure. And again, don't have a heart attack if something falls off, because obviously I've been doing this fast and I'm not giving everything a chance to settle. Now I still want to put more material on. I just see one of them inside slices is just about to come off. But this is what it's looking like so far. Now I do want to put a lot more material, not a lot more, but a little bit more material on. So I'm going to get these orange slices back on. What side did I glue? There we go back on glue, and we get that in there. Now as I said, this could be used as a table centre, and you could stand a bottle of wine in the middle of it, nice empty one, you have to fill in your belly with it, or you could stand a candle in the centre. Or again, if you had one of them hurricane vases, you know that way, you could stand a hurricane vase in the centre and you could have your candle inside the hurricane vase, just kind of from a safety point of view. Now just here and there, I'm just kind of going around the outside and I'm gluing on an extra few leaves. It's just at the beginning, I didn't cover all of the base with the leaves because I wanted to kind of like leave it that I could stick some of the material on, and there was no point in covering the whole base in with leaves and then having to come along afterwards and covering all them lovely leaves, covering them all in with material. So it's just kind of giving myself a chance just to let them get better value, I suppose, you know, that way, by just putting the leaves where I actually need it. But I do like some of the leaves kind of glued on top of other material. And again, especially these cheaper ones, you know, the way is kind of glue them in, but let them kind of be a little bit irregular instead of actually, you know, flat down on the base, kind of like hiding the actual straw base. It's just have them here and there, and it just gives you another texture in your table display.
So, Jeanette, somebody's just asking about the glue gun. Where do you get the glue gun from?
So the one that I'm using at the moment, I got it from ONeals Flowers. So they're up in Carlingford. It's an Oasis glue gun, but I do have to say the Lidl and the Aldi glue guns are just as good. But make sure you buy the one that's in around that size, okay? They do a much smaller one. That's the Lidl and Aldi glue guns, okay? They're always green, and they're in around that size there, okay? So if you're buying your glue gun and it's much smaller than that, don't buy it. And I tell you the reason why not to buy it is the glue sticks that it comes with are tiny, tiny little glue sticks, and they do the job, they're fine. But the thing is, to try and find a replacement for them glue sticks afterwards, you're going to have an awful problem. Where the glue sticks that I'm using are a standard glue stick, you know what I mean? And you'll have no problem buying them in, whether it be a wholesaler or again a supplier. Like even the likes of Home Base and you know them Home Store and more, they often sell like glue sticks, but just make sure that it's floral glue sticks. A little tip for you, if you know any carpenters in the family, carpenter's glue sticks actually work as well, they do. Because with carpenter glue, it has to soak down into the wood, and that's what you're looking for. You're looking for a glue that's going to soak down into the wood, or soak down into the floral foam, or soak into the fresh flower, and then you're normally fine. So wood glue actually works as a floral glue. And again, just to hold this up, I'm gluing onto me little turntable, just having a little look at myself there in the mirror, and this is what it's looking like so far. Sorry, I'm holding it up too high. I still have lots of that glue to kind of like peel off, you know. And the very last thing I have to do is make a little hanger just so that we can hang it on the door. But I don't want to let it hang yet. I want to kind of give it a chance. Just let everything kind of like settle down because some of the glue is still warm. Yeah, they're nice and secure there. But just some of them last few things that I glued in, I just want that glue to just go cold. Make sure everything is secure. And sometimes you might kind of go back and just add another little bit of glue here and there to be sure, to be feckin' well sure. So I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. Hopefully we're going to see lots of autumnal door wreaths and Halloween door wreaths and October door wreaths and what they got in America, Thanksgiving door wreaths. And again, that's a very simple one, just done on a 14-inch straw base. That's what the straw base looks like at the back. So listen, thanks a million for joining. I would love if you shared our videos and like, let's get the word out there. Or again, if you're in a flower arranging group, share them to a flower arranging group or tag people in the comments that you know that maybe likes flowers. Also, if anybody's watching and has any questions, put all your questions in the comments and I'll respond back to you later on this evening. See you then. Bye bye.